Welcome everybody to another edition of A Conversation in the beautiful estate of Weston, Fort Lauderdale at the Thrive Conference 2022. Black Men in Tech. I am here with one of the speakers, Mr. Francis. How are you doing, sir?
I'm well.
Definitely,
Thank you for having me, man.
for your accent, that is actually very, very unique. You can tell them where you're from.
Yes, I am from London. I'm from London, England.
Okay, cool.
The UK.
Well, nice. Well, welcome to South Florida.
There you go.
So before we start, I wanted to get this a little bit of background about yourself and just a little bit about you.
That's a great question. So I'm gonna rewind a little bit, right?
Okay.
And go really back.
Okay.
When I was growing up, everybody said, "Oh, what do you want to be when you grow up?" And that's the typical question that is normally asked to people. Like, what do you want to be when you grow up? My answer was rich, because we didn't come from a well-off background.
You can't go wrong with that.
We didn't come up from a well-off background, and so I just wanted to make money. Do you know what I mean? And but I wanted to do it in a way that my mom could be proud. And so we looked at various jobs that wasn't great. And I found sales, and I realized that at that moment that I can make as much money as I want doing sales.
Really?
And because it's like how much you sell is how much you get paid, and that's on all industries. I was very lucky to stumble across tech sales, and I never looked back since then.
Nah, man, that's good, man. That's good. So, number one, like you said, you're from the UK, so we welcome you in South Florida. So, we're here in the Thrive Conference in 2022. You had a beautiful panel where you pretty much spoke about tech, you spoke about personal branding, everything else too. But let's get into first as far as the importance of the Thrive Conference.
Right.
In your opinion, your own thoughts, how important is Thrive Conference to us in the Black community?
Right. So the beautiful thing about Thrive Conference is like literally Black Men in Tech is I've worked in tech for maybe close to 13, 14 years, right? Every room I've ever walked into, I've been the only Black person. And maybe a few rooms that I walk into, I'm like a Black person, but I'm only the Black guy. And so to walk into this room and this particular conference and see everybody that looks like me is unheard of.
Yeah, no, definitely. It brings you like a sense of peace and a sense of like tranquility, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally, because I always walk into, I've done conferences all my life, especially with these, like within tech. And with all these conferences I walk into, it's like I feel uncomfortable trying to fit in and make sure that I don't stand out too much, even though I am the only Black person in a sea of white people, so I clearly do stand out, and so I'm so conscious. Whereas I feel that one of the first times I can just relax and just really be my authentic self. So it is phenomenal. And meeting people that are like-minded, going through what you're going through, it's just like can't pay for that. You really can't.
No, definitely. So one of the main questions I've been asking, guests or speakers, I should say, when I'm having a conversation is that there's been like a lot of misnomers as far as like, oh man, if I'm not doing any code, if I'm not a technical person, I can't get into tech. So I feel like there's a lot of anxiety when it comes to, especially with our people, to even get into, because not only with the education, but some people, us, like they think that we don't even have a place in tech.
Right.
And that's the reason why Thrive Conference is actually beautiful, because it's like, we can have people just like us, and there's space for us to thrive. Thrive Conference.
There you go, win.
There's space also to build generational wealth when it comes to tech as well too. So how can we educate and debunk these misconceptions and these limiting beliefs to our people so they can actually thrive in tech?
So I love that question, right? A couple of things going through my mind, because you're pulling me in two kind of clear directions. The first piece that's like super essential is that any organization, for them to grow, need multiple functions than just the people that code. That ultimately, when you start a business, and let's say it's a tech business, if we're talking about a business, even like a Facebook, right? Or now it's called Meta, or any like TikTok. You probably need maybe coders, and you need a business person. That business person that comes in right at the beginning does not have to have any technical understanding. So even from the get-go, from the very beginning, you need someone that is non-technical for that business to move forward. Now, when that business starts growing and scaling, we need people that's going to have the finance department. We need people that's going to be the legal team. We need people that's going to be on the sales function. We need people to be on the customer success, which is also the support function. You know, people that's going to interact with your customers. All of these people don't need to be coders, for example. Then we have the marketing function. There are so many different areas of the business that is essential for the business to grow that are non-technical roles. Now let's talk about that generational wealth piece and the equity piece. The great thing, and this is the one thing that you have in tech that is very rare and hard in any other industry, is that you have a product that costs very little to be made, but it makes so much money. So whereas real estate, you buy this bit of land, you do all this building, there's so much stuff that you do invest, and then ultimately you're able to sell, and that margin is really good. Whereas tech, and you can only sell one house at a time. Whereas with tech, you're selling a product that has been created in the cloud, in the air, and that product, all you have to do is pay for the maintenance around that, and you can just keep on shipping that same product to multiple people. You can move 1 million users in an instant, right? Wow, and so the scalability and the revenue associated with that is incredible. One of the first companies, and I'm going to end on this, one of the first companies that I worked for, when I did a sell, I sold a deal, and they will pay me the subscription, or roughly about 9 months worth of the subscription that the client will pay, every bonus. And I sat down with the manager and I said, you guys are losing money. You guys, I made this sell, you guys pay me 9 months. And he goes, we're not only losing the 9 months, we're losing 3 more months because we bake 3 months worth of support. So any sell that you make, we're losing actually 12 months on that. And I goes, why do you do that? He goes, because every customer that we have typically stay with us for 9 years. And on top of that, we will grow them by 30% year on year. So the money that we're making on that is incredible. That's amazing. You can't do that anywhere else, right? Yeah. So right now, because I work in tech, I'm not only thinking about my immediate family. I've got 2 beautiful kids. You know, I'm not thinking
I saw that when I was on your phone. You know what I'm saying? Putting my number in there. Nice.
Yeah, I've got 2 beautiful kids, right?
Yeah, congrats.
I'm not thinking about my sons, that they're important to me. I'm not only thinking about my mom, who's done what she can, and you know, this tech industry has allowed me to pay for her house. So I'm not only thinking about that's great. So I was able to support my mom. So I went up 1 level. I'm able to support my kids, right? So I'm at the level that I'm at. I'm creating funds for my kids' kids. Do you know what I mean? I'm trying to do something where my grandkids don't have to worry about like what house they're gonna buy. I'm trying to do something like my great-grandkids will know that great-granddad did something that set up. You can only do that in the industry that's perpetually giving you money and changing your generation and changing your life.
Yeah, no, definitely, man. It's a lot of information right there, man.
I know, I threw it at you.
No, it's all good, it's fine. It's all good. Let me process that real quick. So, no, that was definitely great. So when it comes to personal branding,
right,
and when it comes to your own, I guess, your own niche that you pretty much are, how can people like us be able to use our personal brand, no matter how small, how big, to be able to leverage tech and, you know, pretty much grow that cohesively?
Totally. I think that the one thing is you have to be intentional. You have to try and make meaningful connections in that moment, right? And you need to figure it out before you walk into that room, what you want to get out of that room. And you have to plan that. You have to actually really be intentional. You don't stumble into it, right? You intentionally look out, like, how can I give, but also how can I grow from this situation? Yeah. Right? Yeah. I feel one thing that is super important about your personal brand is you need to be someone that is good at what you do. So whatever you do it with excellence. You don't play about with it. You do it with excellence.
Go hard or go home.
That's it, always, right? Yeah. And then the second thing that's super important is that you need to make sure you're a good person. People feel of that. they know, okay, this is a good person. I believe that doing the right thing is the right thing to do. It may not get you the right response, but it will always get you the right results. And so the initial response may not be great, but the results at the end will always be the best thing for you. And so you need to make sure that you do the right thing in all circumstances. And so I'm the type of person, if I was a waiter, I'll walk into in my restaurant and someone sat down and what's good to eat, I'll say, you know, our steak is amazing, but our chicken, you may have to go down the road for that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But you being honest and being authentic, and taking that, basically caring about the person next to you, that's going to translate.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
I've worked on companies that I've left the company, gone to a new company, and they turn around to me and say, hey Francis, this new company, should I leave where I'm at right now with our software and go to yours, or because you left for a reason? So, you know, people, my customers want to leave with me because I tell them, we have 10 products, you'll need 3.
Yeah, no, definitely, man. So
when you need 4, I'll let you know.
I got you, man. I got you. So just need to wrap up real quick. So if you can give me a 30-second elevator pitch, if you meet somebody literally in the elevator that is of your color, that is interested in tech, what would you tell them?
That's a lot. Okay.
30 seconds.
30 seconds. All right. Let's go. So I think the first thing I'll say is, what are you interested in, what do you care about, and what do you want to do? And then it's like, now look for companies that you want to work for, read the job description, and find out what you can do that connects to that. Because there are roles there for you, no matter what you are, no matter what you do, there's roles for you in these companies. Like even Meta is hiring doctors, right? So you need to make sure that you find what you do and what you love doing, and make sure you find it in the companies that you want to work for.
Mr. Francis, man, I appreciate you. If
Thank
you
you
can give us some shameless plugs as far as like where we can find you,
right?
And your Instagrams, all that good stuff.
All right, cool. So Francis Aremo, that's me on LinkedIn. So that's Francis Aremo. On Instagram is Mr. Aremo, Mister Aremo. And Let's Talk Jobs. Let's Talk Jobs is my big thing. So let's talk jobs.co.
Cool, man.
That's me. All right.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you. Thank you very much. All right, good.
Boom.